I recently ran the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, and today I'm going to teach you what training for a marathon taught me about running a business. 3 weeks from race day, with the hardest training behind me, I stood in our kitchen exhausted, and I looked at my husband and I said, I think I want to quit. I was so tired. And I think this is how we often feel in business. We feel like we are so close and yet so far. Running a marathon did not change me. However, training for one absolutely did. And I feel like if you are in business and you are on the cusp of burnout and you are feeling tired and exhausted and you feel like you've been putting in all this work and you're having a hard time seeing the finish line or seeing the results that you're wanting to see in your business, you are not alone. I want to encourage you to take a deep breath. We are going to take some practical steps to help get you across the finish line today. You may be a solopreneur, but you were never designed to do business alone. We were wired to live in community. There was an incredible stat put out by the Association for Financial Counseling and Planning Education, and I'm going to read it to you here. If you have a goal or idea that is swirling around in your mind, there's a 10% chance that you are going to reach it. Now, if you commit mentally that you're going to do it, that increases to 25%. If you take a moment and you write it down, that goes up to 42%, which is why I love writing things down. If you commit to someone that you love and trust, that increases to 65%. That you should be going out and finding someone that you love and trust to tell about this goal or idea that you have floating around in your mind. Now, if we take that a step further and you bring in accountability where you have a group that you meet with, someone that's going to hold your feet to the fire, and you have like a scheduled meeting in which you're going to make this happen, that increases. The likelihood of you completing that goal or this mission increases to 95%. That means there's only a 5% chance that you are not going to reach your goal. Now that, my friend, should get you super excited right there. I didn't run this marathon by myself. I had a whole team around me. I had Chad supporting me. My dad let me use his treadmill when it was too icy to train outside. My mom encouraged me. My friend was sending me information on fueling. I had another friend that gave me a plan to follow. And then I had running buddies that I met with on the weekends to do the long runs together. There was accountability. And when we met, they were going to ask me how my runs and my workouts went in the previous week. So how my training was going. They were holding my feet to the fire. There was not a chance that I wasn't going to cross that finish line, apart from injury, because I had that accountability that was keeping me in line to reach the goal that I was setting out to do. Your very first assignment is to go and find an accountability group. People that love you enough that they're going to ask you the hard questions and hold your feet to the fire. If you don't have one easily accessible, I'm going to teach you how to make one. In marathon training, there's a couple of different types of runs that I was doing to prepare. So there was tempo runs, which was meaning I was trying to get pretty fast. There were hills runs, which means I was trying to find some elevation gain, which in Oklahoma is kind of tricky to do, but we did it. And there are long runs. This is when I'm really putting in the distance. And then there are easy runs. These are heart rate runs where I'm supposed to run a little bit slower, training my heart to operate at a certain rate. Y'all, believe it or not, the easy runs were the hardest one for me. So I could come home after a tempo run or a hills run, and those were fun. They were flashy. I could tell Chad about my pace. I was excited. It was fun to talk about. Long runs were great because I could hit new distances, and I was excited. But those easy ones, the ones that weren't flashy, the ones that took a little bit longer because I had to run slow, those were building stamina, and they were teaching me and training me to be a better runner. But those weren't the ones that I wanted to share about. So often in our business, it's not the flashy thing that's going to allow you to grow. It's doing that back end work, the hard and heavy lifting that people aren't going to celebrate you for. It's not going to be this amazing reel that you post on Instagram. It's going to be something that you're going to be doing behind the scenes that's going to allow your business to grow, to be able to support things that are fun and flashy, like great marketing. So all that work that you are putting in to build your business, all those things that are kind of the thankless efforts, like building out your workflows, doing the research for the launch, collecting reviews, like all the heavy lifting that you're doing, being above reproach with the government by paying your taxes, they may not be flashy, but they are going to allow you to build a foundation that is going to support you in the long run. Don't skip the easy runs. Don't skip the unflashy work. It will pay off, I promise. Okay, this one, you don't need more motivation. What you need is either a rhythm or a plan to follow so that even when things are getting hard, you know that your job is to follow the plan. I couldn't train for a marathon based on how I felt. I would much rather stay in bed and snuggle up to Chad than to get up and get out the door on a super cold or windy or rainy morning, or even when it's hot and humid, to go and run a whole bunch of miles. No, thank you. But I know and knew that those were things that I needed to do in order to prepare for race day. Those challenging elements, those days when I had to mentally push through, was not only the physical training, but the mental training that I needed to have in order to get to the finish line on race day. Your motivation is gonna fade. It's not always gonna be there. When motivation is in place, my encouragement is to you to ride the high and capitalize on that. But when motivation isn't there, your job is to follow the plan that you set in place when you were looking and excited about the goals that you were setting. This is the plan that's gonna get you there. This is why it's important to have things like a quarterly plan, Big 3, a startup and shutdown routine, because on the days when you aren't feeling really excited about it, you are going to follow those practices, those rhythms, those disciplines that are going to help you to continue to move your business forward to get you to your ultimate goal. I heard that discipline is sacrificing what we want now for what we want most. Right now, I may want to be laying in bed. Right now, I may want to be avoiding the deep work that needs to be done in my business. But what I want most is a business that is going to support the life that I love, that's going to give me freedom to work really hard, make an impact, love the girls in the Cortico well, but also allow me to go spend the evenings in the garden with friends or family, or being able to serve at my church. We're able to do what we practice. So I had to practice for the marathon. So on long runs, I practiced my fueling. I practiced, it may sound a little woo, but I practiced like mantras, things that I was going to say, because I knew on race day, I was going to hit the pain cave where I was going to want to stop. So I needed to practice beforehand what I was going to do when I got into that situation. So for me, I had to go back to my why. 1, I wanted to know that I could do hard things. 2, I want to be an active human in the lives of those around me. I want to be able to throw my nieces and nephews in the air and to be able to chase them around and jump on the trampoline with them. I want to be someone who sets out to finish what she started. So as I was running and as things were getting hard, as my body was getting tired and my mind was trying to wander, and I was even beginning to reject fuel and water, I had to remember these things. And so the cry of my heart was, let this run be worship. And then I had to quote scripture to myself. It's like, the Lord has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And even when I felt like I was spiraling, saying those things out loud, bringing it back to my why, like remembering why I run and being grateful for that opportunity, that's what kept me sane and that's what kept me going. You need to know your why. Why are you building the business that you are building? And when days are hard, you need to be able to go back to that. And when you can't remember that thing for yourself, my friend, you need people that are around you that love you enough that are going to tell you the truth. As I was running, as I was struggling, there were people to my right and to my left that were speaking truth over me and telling me to keep going. You are not alone. You are capable of doing hard things, my friend. If you are feeling alone and burnt out and overwhelmed, I want to encourage you that this is not the end. Let's go back to the basics. Let's get in community. Find your people. Lean into them. Let them love you. But that's going to take vulnerability and transparency. I'm not saying you need to go throw everything personal about yourself all over the internet, but find those trusted people. If you are feeling tired and overwhelmed and alone, my friend, my encouragement and invitation to you is to go back to the basics, to slow down, to build rhythms, and to find support. We aren't meant to do hard things alone. And running a business is not for the faint of heart. It is hard. We need people. You need someone on the day that you feel like you're spiraling, that you want to quit. When you're so close to the finish line, you need the person that loves you enough, like Chad to me in the kitchen, who came up, gave me a hug, handed me some fuel, said, go put on your shoes and get your run done. Like, he knew what I wanted in the long run. And he loved me enough to say, I know it's hard and I know you're tired, but remember what you want most. Now, if you're not sure how to find your people, I have a guide below that I walk you through the process of how to find those people and how to make it an accountability group, not just like a coffee chat or a catch up, but something that's actually going to hold your feet to the fire and you get the opportunity to do it for them. You don't need some crazy viral new spicy strategy. What you need are rhythms, people, and the opportunity to stay grounded to what matters most. That's going to keep you in alignment. As the days are fun and easy, you're going to ride that wave. On the days that are hard, you're going to allow yourself to lean into that community and trust the process. There is purpose in the plan. So whether you're in mile 2 or mile 20 of your business, let the rhythms carry you. Let your people cheer you on. Let your work be worship. You've got this.